Hi, it's Holly and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to be doing a quick little update as I haven't been on here for a while. Everything's been a bit all over the place. I wasn't very well at one point and then me and Ross went to London and I was planning on doing a little bit of vlogging there and stuff, but it just felt really awkward. It was really busy and it's bad enough just trying to get around without a camera in your hand constantly. I did Snapchat, but that was about it. And then my hay fever's been terrible. I know that sounds like a ridiculous excuse not to sit down and film, but it actually makes me ill. Like, I wheeze, I can hardly talk. That's been terrible. And then now I've got a really bad back, which I've had to ring the hospital for this morning. So I don't know where the weeks have gone. I am now 31 weeks pregnant. I am getting a lot bigger now. I have had a few things that had changed, like that started, the sickness did stop and then it went down to once a week and now it's like once every 2 weeks, so that's absolutely like amazing. I was sick this morning though, but I think that was more due to the pain that I'm getting in my back. This pain, basically I think what it is I went to the hairdressers. I think just sitting in the chair for so long and then lying back to get your hair washed, and then do you know when they say, all right, you're ready now, sit up. And I've sat up and I just think I've pulled it, but I've never been in so much pain in my life. I've got disc bulges in my back and I've had a lot of back pain in my time, and this is just so extreme to the point that I had to ring the hospital because I was thinking, hold on a minute, what if I'm actually going to early labour? Because I know they say a lot of pain can be in the back in early labour, but it's looking alright so far. I've just got to keep an eye on it, and baby's still moving and everything. Getting a lot of movements. It's not even in a routine, it's just constant non-stop movement. Other things, I am starting to feel really heavy now, like I have a lot of hip pain. I'm still not absolutely huge. I was a bit concerned about the size of my bum compared to other people who I know who are pregnant. I know you should never compare, but when someone's 10 weeks behind you and they're like way bigger than you, it's a bit worrying. But she measured and she said if anything the baby's looking to be at least £7.15. So it looks like it's going to be a healthy weight. I have another scan next week to see if my placenta's moved, to see whether or not I need a cesarean. Anything else? I do have a condition, well, it's not really a condition to be honest. I do have ectopic beats, which is like, it kind of feels like your heart stops and it goes all jittery. And I've had them for a couple of years now. I got them, they found out that I had them when I had a heart monitor on, and they always said that they were hormone related. So when I was ever on my period or anything, they would be really bad, or when I was due, they would always be really bad. So they always said, mind, when you get pregnant you will have an absolute nightmare. And actually I hadn't. If anything, they kind of subsided. But then 2 weeks ago they started to come back quite bad, and then they'll settle again, and then I had them bad last night. I've had a couple of days, so that's a little bit annoying, but if anything I was prepared for that to happen. So ectopic beats, I've had a few of them. I think that's everything with updates and stuff. Nothing really, like cravings. I absolutely love sweet stuff still. I'm convinced that I'm having a boy though. I know that they say when you're craving sweet stuff that it's a girl, but I'm convinced that it's a boy, but we'll have to wait and see. The nursery is nearly done. I'm actually sat on it now. I've got little bookshelves up, the curtains are up, the furniture's up. Nothing's really in its place yet though, so I've still got that to sort out, but no rush there, hopefully. So yeah, that's about it for my 31 week update, and now I will just get into baby names I love but won't be using. Basically me and Ross have had our girl and boys names picked out since we basically met. Like, we've been together for 6 years, so I've never really thought about that many. We've always had a girl's name, we've always had a boy's name picked out, and it's been the same, it's never changed. So we've never really had a reason to look at any others, because we've just always known that when we have a baby it's going to be either or. But there obviously are a few names that have always stood out that I think, oh, I do really like that name. Girls are a lot easier than boys, but yeah, I've still got a few on the boys there, but yeah, I'm going to start with the girls' names. So the first girl's name that I absolutely love is Avery. I actually heard this name first off, well, it was when I was still living at my mum's house, and I remember I was lying in town having a nap and Ross was actually playing the game Uncharted, in the background when I was asleep, and I just remembered, you know when you're like half asleep but you're waking up at the same time, I just keep remember hearing the name Avery, and I was saying, I was saying like, oh, what's that name? And it's the character's name in the game, but it's a man. I think it must be his second name. And ever since then I've just thought, oh, Avery's a really lovely name, like I love that name. But the only reason I wouldn't want to use it is because I just know for a fact that they would get Ava for short, and I'm not a fan of that name. Like, I don't mean to be awful, like I'm not being judgmental or anything. It's not that I'm not a fan of that name, I just feel like it's so common now, and I don't really like really short names for girls. Like, I think, yeah, I like longer names for girls, whereas for boys I love short names. So that's why I wouldn't use that name. The second name that I love, and I just think it's a really pretty name, and it was my nana's name as well, is Isabelle. I wouldn't use this name, well, we're not using this name for this baby, but this is up there if we're like, if we had two girls, like if I had this girl and then another girl, whatever, I would definitely consider using Isabelle. Like, I absolutely love the name Isabelle. They'll get Izzy for short, which I don't mind. I don't absolutely love it, to be honest. I just like names being names, like what they are. I don't like them shortened, and personally I wouldn't shorten the name, but you just know when they go to school, and especially when they get a bit older, that it's inevitable that they're going to get shortened to something like Izzy. So yeah, Isabelle, I absolutely love that name. Another name that I absolutely love is Daisy. I just think it's such a pretty name. I love any girl's name that's to do with a flower, really. Absolutely love the name Daisy. The only thing I don't like about it is I don't feel like it's a name that they could grow into as a woman. Like, not to, and like, I feel awful in case there's anyone on here like called Daisy who obviously is a woman, but I just feel like it's a bit cutesy. It's more, do you know, like names like Millie, and I don't know, like names that end, well no, it's not necessarily names that end in an E, because my girl's name ends in an E, but it's not cutesy. It's, I don't know, I just feel like it's a bit too cutesy to be. I can't imagine a 40-year-old woman called Daisy. I don't know why, I just think it's lovely as a girl's name, but not as a woman's. So the next name that I absolutely love, and I've always loved this name, I think it's so pretty. I remember I used to watch this film, honestly I don't know what it was though, I used to watch this film, and it was about this princess, but it was a really creepy film, and I used to watch it with my grandma's all the time. I have no idea what it was, but it was this little princess with dark hair, and her name was Sophia. So yeah, I love the name Sophia. I don't know, like someone had a baby not long ago though, and they called their little girl Sophia. So as soon as someone else uses it, that you know, that's it, it's out the window, isn't it? So that's on the list as a girl's name that I love, but I wouldn't use it. Another name that I absolutely love is Ivy, but similar to this, I also love the name Ivory. So either Ivy or Ivory. Absolutely love these names. This is another name that I wouldn't say that I wouldn't use at all. I'm just not using it for this baby. But yeah, I absolutely love the name Ivy. I just think it's so pretty. Even like the plant ivy is like a really pretty, just looks pretty, doesn't it? Yeah, I absolutely love the name Ivy. Even though I said I didn't really like girls' names that were short, it's not abrupt. It's like, because Ava's a bit like Ava, but Ivy is just Ivy. Yeah, it just sounds nice. Another girl's name that I absolutely love, and it's so cute, and I actually think it's short for Harriet, if I remember rightly, is Hattie. I love the name Hattie, but I don't feel like I can say it properly. Like, I love the thought of it, Hattie, but then like the more I say it, I feel like I can't say it properly. Hattie, like I just feel like it's fake, like I feel like it's forced, and it doesn't really flow off my tongue very good. But I do love that name. I think it's a really pretty name, and I think it looks nice, but like I say, I can't really say it properly. And the last but not least girl's name that I absolutely love, and it's a very bit different, all of the others have been a bit classic, but this name I absolutely love, and it's just Sage. I just look like Sage, the name Sage. I don't know, but then when I say it, I don't know if I like it so much when I say it, but I think the name Sage is quite pretty, but I think we'd have to have like a nice middle name with it maybe. Like I say, I'm not that too keen on short names. I feel like it's a bit abrupt, but I do really like the name Sage. But I think it would be lovely for a boy as well. So yeah, they are all my girls' names. Right, now for my boys' names. The first name that I love, which is a name that is a little bit different and a bit modern, and I think you either love it or hate it, is Kale. Like, I just love the name Kale. I just think it's so cool. I think with boys' names you can get away a lot more with like unusual names rather than girls, because they're just cool, aren't they? And I love short abrupt names for boys. Like, I just think like one syllable names for boys is just a strong name, just Kale. And I just love the name Kale. Ross doesn't like it so much though. But yeah, I just think it's cool. Like, just imagine Kale. I don't know, loads of people don't like it because they just think of the veg kale, but yeah, I think Kale is a cool name. The next name that I like is Troy. I don't think many people would like this one, but like I say, I like strong boys' names. And even though it might be hard to imagine a little baby called Troy, like, it's a bit strong, I feel like when that child gets older and they're like 18, 21 and they're going into a man, like Troy, yeah, it's a good name to have, isn't it? It's a strong name. Like I say, with boys' names, I do just like a good strong name, one syllable. Well, not all of them on here are one syllable, but like a couple of them are. In fact, yeah, it's only them two actually. But yeah, Troy. I like the name Troy. I just think it's another one. It just sounds like cool, doesn't it? Right, my next name, and I've always loved this name. This is a boy's name that I've loved since before I even had the boy's name that I'm actually using if we have a boy for this one. Mostly because of One Tree Hill, so I've loved this name since I was a kid, and I still use it, and it's Lucas. I just think Lucas is such a nice name. The only thing is, it is getting very common now here. Like, I've realised that work and stuff, I've seen a lot of boys coming in who are called Lucas, and I know that sounds stupid because I know most names out there are probably going to get popular at some point. It kind of puts me off. But I do love the name Lucas. I don't know if I would still use it or not. I'm very on the fence about that. Like, it's not like for Troy. Like, I love that name, but I don't think that I would actually ever use it. But for Lucas, I'm like, yeah, I do like that still. But I don't know, I'd have to say, not for this one, obviously, but these names, I'm not promising that I would never ever use them. Could have 5 kids, you never know. The next one that I love is Logan, but this is another one that I feel awful saying, but I feel like it's getting a bit chavvy. Like, do you know with Mason, when Kourtney Kardashian had Mason obviously and she used the name Mason, no one had heard it before, and then I feel really honestly I do feel so awful saying this because people who are watching this video might have a little boy called Mason and could be the most gorgeous and like the most unchavvy person out there, but I've just noticed that a lot of Masons, like Mason is just becoming a chavvy name, and I feel like that is happening with Logan. Over here, obviously, I think in America Logan's like a popular name anyway, but I feel like when they come over here it just gets a bit, yeah, a bit common, and it's awful to stereotype people, but you know, it just takes that one person to see, doesn't it? It just takes you to be out shopping and you see that one really rough family and they shout with the kid, and it's not the child's fault, bless it. Like, you just see that one really rough man, like, Logan, and it just, honestly, it just puts you off the name straight away, or whatever, and it just, even if you've loved that name for 6 years, if you have that experience, it's just like, no, it's out the window. But I can't help but still really like that as a boy's name. I find boys' names quite difficult, but I do feel like Logan is a nice name. Another name that I love that might actually sound, it feels different to me because I don't know anyone called this. I've never heard any kids out there called that when I've been out and about. But it's Leo. I love the name Leo. Like, even though it doesn't sound like, oh, that's a bit different, because it's just Leo, isn't it? But I've never known anyone's kid be called Leo, or I've never heard of anyone, like, I've just never heard of anyone use it yet, and I absolutely love that name. Funny thing was, our baby's horoscope is probably actually going to be a Leo, born in August, so at one point I was thinking, oh, I do love that name, but it's not enough to change our original choice. But yeah, I love the name Leo. And again, it's like it's quite a strong name. It's just 3 letters, even though it's not 1 syllable. It's 3 letters, and it's just, yeah, I just think it's cool. 2 of the last boys' names are the first one. These are both, the 2 last ones are actually quite old names. The first one is Ivan. I absolutely love the name Ivan, but it is quite an old name, and you might say it and you might imagine someone who's about like 40 odd. But I feel like it's a really nice name, and I honestly, I can imagine like Ivan being a baby, Ivan being a toddler, Ivan being a teenager. Like, it doesn't just sound old. So that's another name that I love. And then the last one is Albie. I absolutely love the name Albie. I love the name Alfie, but it was my family's dog's name, so it's like, that's my dog's name. So as much as I love the name Alfie, I could never use it because I just think of my dog, like Alfie. So I like the name Albie. And it's really old, and this is another name where I think, even though I say like these are baby names I love but won't be using, this is another one where I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily say that I would never use this name. I'm definitely not using it for this one, but I absolutely love the name Albie for this one. I absolutely love the name Albie for maybe a future one. So yeah, I love the name Albie. I've got it spelled A-L-B-I-E, but I know some people would just spell it A-L-B-I. And then they could get like Al for short. I don't know, I just think it's like a really cool name, Albie. And it's not that common either. So yeah, that is it for all of my names. So I had 7 of each there. Don't, honestly, like, I love so many names though. It took me quite a while to actually narrow it down to them few. Absolutely love like loads of names, especially girls' names. It's hard, like there's so many pretty girls' names out there, so it was hard to pick them. As for boys, there's not really that many more that I like rather than them ones on there. I find them quite hard. Obviously I've got a nephew called Miles, and I love the name Miles. I love his name, but yeah, I didn't feel the need to put it in this video because I've already got a Miles. So yeah, that is it for my little 31-week update and baby names I love and won't be using. I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. It would really help. I know I haven't been that consistent recently. Obviously I just haven't, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I just haven't felt great, and I just haven't felt like, it sounds ridiculous, I just haven't felt like sitting down in front of a camera and speaking. I've just felt like absolute rubbish. Hopefully this nursery will be done soon and I'll be able to do a little nursery tour, and I have got a few extra videos in mind as well for like my hospital bag, because I had to YouTube people to see what they had put in their hospital bag, so now I've got my own little thing going on, so I'll be showing them. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel. I need to stop saying so yeah, and also follow me on Instagram for updates because I do like to post on there quite a bit. So thank you for watching. Bye.